Hello?
Hi,
Hi.
this is Ryan from Issues.
Hey, this is Matt.
All right, Matt.
How's it going?
It's going all right.
Yeah.
So you are from the Colourflies?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. Um, just so you know, I'm recording this
Yeah, totally.
so that later on I will transcribe it and it'll be in print in the February 1st edition. There will
Yeah,
be a
okay.
free way to see it online. I'm also happy to send you a print copy for free if you like.
Oh, I would love that. Thank you so much.
And there will also be the audio posted on our YouTube later on in that month.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, great. Oh, and by the way, feel free to speak for as long as you want to about whatever subjects you want to. The questions are just kind of prompts, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay.
All right. First of all, what's your name and where are you?
My name is Matt Legard. I'm in Spokane, Washington.
Is that where you're from originally?
But yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I lived most of my life not most of my life, but I would say a big chunk of my life in Post Falls, Idaho.
All right. So always the Northwest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Um, did you? What's the name of your musical project?
My band's called the Colourflies.
And who's in it?
I'm in it. Tom Deckert's in it, and Joey O'Connor's in it.
How long has that project been active?
I've been in this band since I was like 16,
And how old are you now?
32.
Oh wow, half your life.
It's been a while, yeah.
Do they? Do your other bandmates also live in Spokane?
Yeah, yeah, they do.
And what instruments do everybody play? Does everybody play?
Um, I play guitar and sing. Tom plays guitar, and Joey plays drums. We've sort
Um,
of had a fill in spot for drums for a while because our drummer moved.
right. Yeah, drummers can be difficult. Um,
Had a
so
kid.
oh yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah.
So how did you all meet one another and begin playing?
Um, so the original band I met because we all went to high school together, and sort of just were good friends and decided on a musical identity and kind of pushed forward for it, and that was sort of the band. And other people I've met just having playing music with everybody, pretty much.
And did you start by playing originals?
Yeah, and we only did originals really. We started doing covers probably like a year into it or something like that, but like we were never a cover band.
Yeah. So
A lot of famous bands start that way though. So,
that's true.
yeah.
So what how would you describe your music?
I mean, our music is sort of just putting all the influences that we love and putting them in a blender and then pouring it into a bunch of glasses and drinking it and spitting it at a wall. Like it's just the sum part of all of our musical experience, I would say.
Well, okay, let's get a little bit into your background. How old were you when you started playing music?
I was 16, 15.
Did you
I
play in
taught myself Oh, I'm sorry. I taught myself guitar and then I would lock myself in the classroom in our band room like after school and practice the drums for hours until my dad came and picked me up.
Hmm. Were you
So
also playing in the school band?
I actually was, yeah, I was in jazz band and I was in this choir that you had to audition for as well, and we traveled around and wore funny clothes like Renaissance clothes and sang in Latin and all sorts of stuff in high school too.
Really? Was that
Yeah,
like Latin and funny? Was it somehow, was it like related to religious stuff?
it wasn't. No, it wasn't religious. It was sort of just this Renaissance singing group that I was in called Madrigals, and we sang in other languages and went to these big music halls and stuff, and
Hmm.
sort of just just did music from another time, just
Interesting.
archaic sort of kind of standards for some of that stuff, like Lee Room and things like that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Did you go? What kind of school did you go to?
that's the normal high school.
Okay,
We had good music, a good music program though.
for sure. And so, how soon did it take you before you started writing your own work?
Um, well, when I picked up guitar, I immediately started writing my own songs. It just seemed to me that it just kind of made sense that I could do it. I don't know how to explain it other than that.
Mhm.
I had other bands as examples that I thought, well, okay, well these bands did it. It doesn't seem that difficult, so I'm going to try it myself.
And
Bands like the Ramones
yeah.
and because punk rock was so easy back then, right? So it's like
Hmm.
to kind of figure out. But the true work of like the Beatles and Smashing Pumpkins and some sort of more complex bands, and I'd even argue, say Silverchair early on was a big influence I loved too. Um, Kind of shaped the direction I went in.
Now,
Thin Lizzy, Cheap Trick,
mm,
Metallica.
what, what would you say that you were going for something somewhat theatrical? Because you mentioned Smashing Pumpkins and Soundgarden. They're kind of moody in a way. You know what I mean?
I I always wanted to create an atmosphere within our music that maybe was a little theatrical.
Yeah.
I happen to just be a theatrical person anyway, so I think it just is part of my personality translated into music. But there's always it's difficult in a recording studio to sometimes sing in tune and create an atmosphere with a vocal,
Right.
or music. But that's sort of what I wanted to do early on, and I sort of even on our first album you hear glimpses of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna ask you about your recordings in just a second, but uh,
Oh yeah.
w- I guess what I'm trying to ask. Sorry, I don't like to leave dead time if I can help it, but I guess
Oh, no problem.
what I'm trying to ask is, well, let's go back. Let's go to the recordings and we come back. So,
Okay.
how many recordings have you done?
Like how many albums?
Formal releases, things that you
Oh
sets of
yeah.
songs that you say.
Well, so we recorded an album when we were all teenagers, which became our first record. But I didn't really. It was in my dad's best friend's basement with a Tascam, right?
Right.
But that album actually got to be somewhat successful in an indie sense,
Yeah.
and then so nobody's heard it because unless you have a copy of it, but it's not on streaming or anything. But then we got signed with Black House in 2015 or something like that, and then or 14 maybe. And we put out "Been There, Seen It," which got international press for the first time, and it set us on this crazy spin of what the career path could be. And then we put out what I thought was like a B-side record called "Flavor of the Year," um, which did really well, surprisingly. And then we signed with another label and we put out this thing called the Bomb Pop EP, which was probably like the most successful thing we had done. And now we're with
Short Dive, right?
we're with Short Dive, and we put out Staresque. So I'd say like 3 or 4.
Absolutely. And do you have a website where they can be found or where they can be
Oh
ordered?
yeah, it's just Instagram. Well, Short Dive Bandcamp, they have a Bandcamp page, which is pretty cool, and it has all the merchandise and stuff too. So their website you can find everything on, and then we're on Spotify, and then also Instagram.com/the Colourflies.
Now, would you say that each album is different than the others, or are they
Oh,
like pretty much in the same wheelhouse?
oh yeah, no, I'd say each album is different than the others.
So,
It's not. I wouldn't say it's a radical difference in the way that like there's still loud guitars on a lot of stuff, but there are there are peaks that you reach with like certain tracks and such that allow you to kind of branch into newer territory for new music and new songs. So there are these benchmarks on the album that are very different from the previous album.
yeah, I got you. So, what sort of lyrical content do you deal with? Do you write the lyrics in the band?
I am the lyric writer, yes.
What sort of lyrical content do you deal with? What subject matter?
Heartbreak. I,
Hmm.
I'm I write a lot about I'd say I write a lot about just how I feel. They're all kind of a purging of some sort of feeling that I have, whether that be love or sadness or yeah, just sort
So,
of that vibe.
so
But
autobiography.
I don't really write about the world at
Yeah.
large usually.
So autobiographical
Yeah, I'd
mostly.
say they're mostly most of the time autobiographical. I sometimes write about people I know and in context to how that makes me feel. So it still circles around back to my particular lens of how that feeling kind of translates. But um, yeah, I'm not really not much of an existential writer.
Yeah, I got you. So this most recent album was Shore Dive Records. Remind me what it was called.
Star-esque.
Star. Tell me what it's like. What kind of style does it have? What sort of instrumentation, etc.
So that record is kind of everything that we could throw into a particular lane that we'd recorded over the last couple years, maybe. I mean, there's tracks on there I recorded in LA with Frankie from Posies producing, just stuff like that I would go and record on a random Sunday afternoon. But there are things on there too that are very painstakingly put together. You know, songs like Keisha and stuff like that we've had for a long time, and they are, a lot of meticulous layering of, and it has like trumpet and brass on it. Sounds a little bit like Led Zeppelin. It's the rap we've been getting about it.
Is this the first album
But
you've composed with brass?
yeah, yeah, it is.
What was that
There's
like?
actually another. It was pretty interesting. I never thought I'd see Colorfly sheet music, right? Like somebody type out, or print out a piece of music that has our name on the top and then has bars and staffs of whole notes and half notes and rests and interesting stuff.
Yeah. Do you read music?
Very poorly.
Yeah. Same.
I mean, I had to. I was in jazz band,
Yeah.
so I had to sort of be able to do things on the fly. Um, but yeah, I mean, not to the level that somebody who could really get it done.
Sure. Now on
So
Star-esque, would you say that the do multiple songs on the album kind of share a similar theme?
the songs on the album, yeah, I feel there is there's a yearning in that record that just tries to explain my situation as a human being and how I feel about particular things in life. So there's a journey in the album that maybe previously there wasn't before,
I got you.
and it's stitched together in a way that it really leads you from one place to another place with the beginning song being Rush. What I see when I look at that album is years and years of songwriting come together, because we've had some of those songs for close to 4 years, 5 years, even longer, some of them. And so it's like a culmination of all those feelings I've had over those years put onto one record that now a lot of people are going to hear in an international market, which is sort of amazing.
Sure.
I think that there is a spirit to it. It starts with Rush and then ends with Love Letters. And if you get the vinyl that's going to be coming out, it'll end with the song called Crank, which is like 12-minute prog rock song.
Hell yeah.
But we knew we had to figure out something else with the vinyl, so. But it starts with Rush and ends with Love Letters, and it kind of runs the emotional gamut, because Love Letters is like the idea that you get all these fan letters and you get all these people that project a certain reality onto your reality, but it's not really your reality that you're living. But in a way it also is. But it's pretend in a way. And that's sort of what I'm thinking about with that song and what I'm trying to explain.
Yeah, I got you. That makes sense.
Yeah. You can only see yourself as beautiful as you can picture in your reality, but when somebody else is saying you're that much more than you truly know or truly believe, then it's hard to go through life in that way.
I see. So it's kind of about the difference between how others feel about you and how you feel about yourself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think there's a line, "You all day that paint me like Monet." It's like this inner battle between how you feel about yourself and how you're perceived, and how people's perception of you changes how even you see yourself. And it's just a endless cycle. I mean, on a public level.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's really interesting to kind of grapple with in your life. And some people, like a lot of people, don't necessarily have that problem. They don't have that situation so much, but
Right.
it's a symptom of the whole playing music, and that already has a larger than life quality to it that is hard to assimilate into personal life.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Do any of the other members in the band ever do you write all the lines on all the instruments, or do they kind of interpret what you make?
No. I'll write the basic idea of the song, and then sort of we'll work it out in rehearsal.
Gotcha.
I don't write anyone else's lines.
All right.
And if I do write in somebody else's lines, I'm playing it myself. So it's my line in a way.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
But yeah.
Are you anticipating a tour to promote the album?
Yeah, I'm going to go to Europe for 3 weeks.
Nice.
3.5 weeks. At the end of January.
That's incredible.
That'll be good, I think. My first foray over the pond. I think I think I underestimate the European market, because this is the first time I've had this much press for a record in a short span of time. So it's just like sort of a weird thing to be experiencing at 32.
Yeah.
Like I could see it back then, but it's like, and I just remember how I dealt with press even in my early 20s. I was so ridiculously dumb about it. So I'm trying to do better.
That's good.
Yeah. I saw a photo the other day of me on tour. It was like an interview of me on tour, and they had a picture of me on tour with an article of us being on. And I was like, how did they organize that back then? Like, I just don't see that happening. Like, it's just crazy. Like, they would have got to get a hold of me then, and I don't know. Not that I was ridiculously irresponsible, but I was just like, wild. Like first found freedom of being on the road and, not like having to answer to anybody in a way, which was weird. And
Oh yeah,
yeah, it was crazy. In a van.
of course. Had to
Yeah.
be.
hmm
So, is there anything else you would like to promote?
Well, the new vinyl will be coming out.
Of course.
That'll be cool. I've never had a vinyl come out before. We don't have much in ways of shows until Europe, so
Okay.
I don't know. So I guess just there will be T-shirts and stuff also on Shore Dive's webpage,
Okay.
which is cool.
Short Dive
So-
Records.
So new merch will be good.
Yeah, that's
but yeah, other than that, I think ultimately this album is a step toward the big album, which we have songs for and just didn't feel like it was the right time to release it necessarily. And it's not finished either, but
Yeah.
the album that we recorded with they're members of the Posies and Big Star that helped produce. There are Greg Richling from the Wallflowers executive produced the album.
Wow.
And Brian Cook did some mixing. He worked on Issues and Return to Saturn and stuff like that. So some real heavy handed production stuff coming down the pike from us that I really am excited about and sort of will be different in the way that it's going to be a very focused effort, that the production is very hi-fi and sort of what we thought would be our major label record. We were supposed to have signed with Sony at one point, and then that didn't end up happening. But so that was sort of all poised for that sort of release. But we still have all the music. We have the rights to all the music, and that'll be sort of our opus, I think. And that could come maybe within a year or less. Who knows? Depends on how Europe goes.
Well, I'll be on the lookout for that for sure.
Yeah, that'll be called Dysphagia when it comes out.
Nice.
Yeah, and there'll be new music videos, I think, too. I think we'll have a video come out before I go to Europe as well.
Cool. Also on the Shore
so-
Dive site.
Yeah, it'll be on Shore Dive. Yep. Yeah, they're amazing. It's an amazing company to work with. Most responsive. Like, I've been in some pretty bad label situations before, and this just feels very nice and natural and exciting. Like, I haven't been excited for being in this situation for a long time. It feels.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of good stuff coming on the horizon.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it'll be the version of the band in a car waving at another version of the band going down a highway. That's how the new album would be. So distant but related.
Well, okay. First of all, I would like to thank you for agreeing to the interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Thank you for having me.
Yep. As I said, it will be on the 1st of February. It'll be on the website link. And
Okay.
I'll get you a print copy too.
Yeah, and I'll get you some pictures too.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, I should be able to get those by tomorrow.
Great. All right.
Okay.
Well,
Good talking.
you have a great night.
Yeah, you too, man. Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.